Tim Scott, who is still smack in the middle of his auditions for vice president, took to Face the Nation to provide a couple more suck-up interviews to Trump in hopes that it helps him really solidify and lock in the pick. And I want you to notice how much Tim Scott has to pivot during this interview, because there's things that he can't outright defend, but he really wants to paint Trump in a positive light. Here he is being asked about the RNC paying Trump's legal fees.
Do you believe the RNC, the Republican National Committee, should be involved in paying his legal expenses, which are mounting?
I can only tell you that without any question, when you look at the two-tier justice system that we have that I just reinforced, I think it's important for us to note that without any question, the American people are very concerned about how that would impact their lives. Their issues are very clear, by the way. The American people are more focused on their future than Donald Trump's past. What they're more focused on is making sure that our southern border is secured.
Notice how, again, he never answers the question and quickly tries to pivot to the one Republican talking point. Also important to remember that Donald Trump himself and MAGA killed the border deal that would have upended the issue that they pretend to care so much about. It's all just political and something they want to be able to broadcast while they're campaigning. But with a large percentage of Republicans saying they wouldn't vote for Trump if convicted of crimes, with Republicans like Mitt Romney saying they can't vote for someone who's been found liable of SA, I think the American people do care just a little bit. Maybe not MAGA, but MAGA in no way represents the majority in any shape or form, barely even in the Republican Party. Let's move on to Tim Scott, then being asked about certifying the ballots.
What do you believe, Senator, is the role of a vice president on the day of congressional certification?
Well, here's what I'm not going to do is answer questions that are hypothetical about the past. The one thing we know about the future is that the former president, fortunately, he'll be successful in 2024. He won't be facing that situation again. So what we should focus on is what will cause the former president, President Trump, to be the next president of the United States. It will be those issues that I've articulated. In addition to that, the lack of law and order in the streets of America.
Okay, so again, notice how he doesn't answer on the role of VP or if he would actually certify the ballots, because saying you would is disqualifying to MAGA, and saying you wouldn't would destroy all his other credibility. So instead, he tries to pivot back to Republican talking points, this time bringing up crime, even though crime is down. We've showed this multiple times and went through the numbers numerous times on the channel, and it's red states and red cities that carry the murder rate, but continue.
You say focus on the issues. Should former President Trump stop calling Ambassador Haley birdbrain?
Well, I think her son should stop calling me Judas Iscariot. So there's lots of things that we can talk about.
There's no accountability to be had here, and that's because Trump doesn't do accountability. If Tim Scott had acknowledged anything that Trump had done wrong, he immediately would be out of the running. Of course Trump should stop calling Nikki Haley birdbrain. Of course Trump should stop invoking and bringing up her husband who's serving overseas. And Tim Scott doesn't even fit the archetype of a politician who would support things like this. He didn't say it in his own campaigns. He's never been like that. But when you step into MAGA, when you step into Trump country, as Tim Scott would say, you've got to sacrifice every bit of yourself, who you are, and what makes you you, for them. You're not Tim Scott anymore. You're MAGA supporter Tim Scott. And MAGA supporter comes first. Don't you forget it. Gone are the days where the VP is the grounded pick that allows you to reach newer crowds, keeps you based in reality, or is the VP that you can actually go to for advice on certain subjects maybe you're not as well read or educated on. Trump, however, just needs a lackey who will largely stay out of his way and then be willing to do his bidding when the time comes and not sissy out like Mike Pence did. And Tim Scott is showing with these interviews and demeanor and how he carries himself at the rallies that he's willing to do just that. If you enjoyed this video, we're Social Society. We're a commentary channel influenced by politics, society, and the economy. We are pretty left-leaning on this channel, but we're open to our right-wingers as well. The biggest thing here is having conversations that get everyone to the bottom of the truth. If that sounds like something that could interest you, consider smashing that subscribe button, leaving us a like, or even commenting on this video. We even have memberships available as low as $3 if you'd like to support, because the only way we become a society is together.